Hi, let's try this one on and see if we can get everybody and it stays this time. I messed up in the first place. I recognize that. But the second one, I don't know. So now they say that there I was. So some of you found me and I've done Kayla's as far as I am clear. And so we're going to start. Marion, we are here. Leroy, hopefully you can hear me. A treatment, okay, hang on a minute. Now my pen doesn't want to miss. What are those nights? Isn't that funny? The day's gone well. And let's see, is on perseverance. Yeah, well, I'm having perseverance tonight, I'll tell you. Work and making changes. Boy, I'm a bit slow tonight in person. So thank you for finding me wherever I am and trust everything is okay. So Leroy's numbers were 16, 12, and 4. Now 16 is the tower. So that's always a surprise and basically knocks you off your feet. And that's the problem with it. I'm trying to get this centered now. There we go. And 12 is acceptance, because sometimes things happen like what I'm going through tonight, which is not the usual thing. And secondly is that 12 is acceptance and 4 is experience and can be very stuck. So one of the things here, Leroy, is really, to my sense, is which change is through acceptance and fluidity, being fluid within the change. So let's do the treatment. I know there is one power and one essence that we all have access to. I also know that as I speak my word for Leroy, that perseverance comes through understanding that everything is in its right place at the right time. But the changes that you wish to make can happen by recognizing is moving forward. It is the movement forward that creates and brings the sense of where you're going. I give thanks in knowing this. I give thanks, and Leroy can hear this because he says he's on, and that you can persevere to make the changes with how you want and where you want to be. I give thanks by saying, and so it is. I want to also explain very often situations happen that come out of nowhere, and we can get very, very upset with them because it's not planned or thought. But remember, everything is in its right place. And we don't truly understand sometimes why things are happening at all. So I'm just going back up here. Kayla's I've got blessing. I hope you can caught that earlier, Kayla, when everything was a bit messy, but we've got that. And it was just acceptance of everything being in the right timing. And your numbers were 3, 12, and 13, which is great. So I'm going to get back and good here. Marion says, good evening and blessings to all. So we're all back on track a little bit. Now, Karen B. When do you go on your trip, Karen? I know it's coming up, but I don't know if you're on it. Love and blessings. She says love and blessings to everyone. So we wish her well on her trip for sure. Laura said, yeah. Karen says, yay, you're back. Yeah, I am. Karen Marcus is love to all. We're having a love fest. Thank you. Karen B says, may I have a treatment? Numbers 3, 19, and 21. Hands and fingers. Okay. Oh, so with the 3 is the Empress. So it's about love. It's about acceptance, because love and acceptance come together. Even though we have symbology that's separate, they are one and basically come together. But the 19 shows a new beginning. And then 21 is having faith. If the energy runs down and out, that's why healers run down and out, and we have this chakra in here. the main healing chakra that then goes into the fingers. Many healers use fingers. I always use my hands, but it's like energy. I want you to imagine your color, whatever it is you feel is your most healing color, down, coming into your wrists, and then going through and coming out through the ends of your fingers so that it consistently moves in and out. That will be, and then just give it time. Don't make it quick. Just give it time and let it rest in that color of love. They need love. They need to know they're loved and that you can bring love with them. Okay, I give thanks in knowing that the one power and one essence, which is full of love, full of awareness, full of acceptance, when Karen B is allowing it to move through her body into her hands and fingers and out through the fingers. So it's not stuck, that it's a moving energy. And this will bring the essence of newness. And the key is to have faith. And I think that's to do with the timing. Sometimes certain healings, if you've had something for a while, takes a while before you begin to notice a change. But I'm feeling that my hands and fingers are moving quite well. And it's that movement into the newness, new vibration, new awareness, new all of those elements that you work with and how it is. I give thanks in knowing this. I give thanks in knowing for everybody that's on this well by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay. I love Metso 7. I need a treatment for your father's health. Okay, girl fathers. And you've got 5, 7, and 12. 5's the Hierophant, so he needs more information right there. 7 is a change, and 12 is acceptance. Okay, let's have a look at this. The Hierophant here plays an incredible part. Not only is it because of first symbol, but it's showing there's more knowledge that is needed. There's something else that he doesn't have. Whatever his health issue is, he hasn't got the full picture. He doesn't really know exactly what's all going on, and that he needs to let go. Maybe it is something that in his diet or his drinking of whatever he needs to look at. It's something he's taking anyway into his body, and he needs to look at what it is. He needs to look at what it is. In other words, whatever he's taking, if it's pills, if it's medicine, if it's something he eats or always has eaten, whatever, it needs to understand that so that he can let that go and accept that which is really good in relation to his health. I truly hope that the person who's in charge of his health really understands different aspects of it, not just the same old like medical things or whatever. I'm trusting, knowing where you are in the world, that there, and I know there's many, many other kinds of medicine available. And that's what I would suggest, is find out what it is that he's taking that I don't think is good for him and has not helped his health, but he needs a change there. And so I give thanks in the knowing. I give thanks in knowing that 07's father finds what is best for him to take to aid his ailments. And as he takes that, he will feel 110% better. And for this, I give thanks by saying, and so it is. Okay, so you're going September. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a wee while yet. Okay, Akeisha. Hey, sweetie. And you've got 7, 9, 11. Treatment for your lower back pain. Yeah, it's been going in circles over the last 3 months, where it starts improving and then flares up again. You're very confused. Well, the one thing I would say with that happening is either the thought that you're having, A, or something that you do which is not works with your back. In other words, maybe you go back to doing something that makes your back feel not so good. It's like a change, you're needing to change something here with that number 7. And the 9 says, because the answer lies within you. You know what it is that sets it off. And so this is part of the decision making and the commitment to what you can and cannot do. So you need to be very, very aware of if it's coming and going, there's something that triggers it, and you've got to figure which one, what was that movement, change, whatever that triggers that back, so that you don't do it that way. It could be the way you bend, it could be the way you carry something, pick things up. There's 100 ways you can hurt the back. I know, because I've been through it. And so it's like accepting and making a decision that your back is the most important thing. So you look after your back, you take care of your back, you work with your back so that you're not doing the same things that set it into being inflamed and upset. You're the key here. You're the key. So make sure that you watch when your back hurts. What have you just done? Make a real note. Keep a diary of it. And so because you're the key here. And you've got to start making sure you make different decisions around your back so your back is looked after. I give thanks in the knowing of this. There is light, there is love, there is support, there is awareness. And again, like I was saying with Karen B's hands, is find your light. That's your healing light. We all have a color that heals us. And it's not always the same color. My color is very different from others. They may use blue or pink or whatever. I've always used yellow or gold for me. That's me. So you've got to find your color. And then you're going to make sure that back has that color. So it has strength and purpose, and it feels the love of the universe in it. Okay? It's very important because you're ready for it. It's all up to you with that number 11. You're the key. I give thanks in this knowing. And I think so many of us can learn from this one. So I give thanks for that too, Ashika. Karen B says, thank you. Kira says, I'm sure my treatment was good as always. And so I say, thank you. I was on before 7, but only heard you talk at 7. No, everything was crazy. I messed up. And unfortunately, you were kind of gone, and couple of others too, because before we realized things aren't working right. So that's why I had to come on again. Karen B, thank you, Norma, for a wonderful treatment. I definitely felt the energy. Good. Shika says, thank you. Marion says, same here. Well, I can't believe it if we're over already, because last week we went right through pretty well 8 o'clock. But I understand. And yes, of course, Matt, 07, you can get one for your eyes. Remember that, again, what I said last time, 6, 18, and 19. Well, there's a lot of emotion here. I had between yourself and two others, I think maybe I even had another one on the weekend, a reading on the weekend that eyes came up. And I had to do some meditation on it. This whole thing about the eyes, and the guy last week had his ears. When you think of it, when you're little, you have an energy that runs. And then things happen in life. We feel trauma, we feel upset, we feel all sorts of emotional issues. And what happens is that we don't very often, and I know I certainly have that. I've worn glasses now for a lot of years. I had to look back and say, when did that happen? What was that about? Which I discovered. So it's like you go, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. It's like going back to before the eyes or the ears, hands, whatever, was an issue. What happened? What was the trauma that you had that created the issue? Or began the issue, we should say, because some issues continue and get bigger. Because that's what you've got to deal with. You've got to deal with the emotionality that created your I issue in the beginning. It's not now, it's back there. And as we have here, 6, confusion, 18, emotion, 19 is coming into the new. Well, it's the sun. It's like coming into the newness, all things, which is wonderful. But I look back and I went, okay, this is coming through that people have got to look back. Now, what were you not looking at the time when your eyes started? And I found it. And I went, oh, okay. I've been pretty lucky. Mine are just, not the best reading. Could put that down to age, but that would be what do you call that? Not really actually being as totally accurate. Okay, 07, let's see. I know there is one power, and I know the loving power is there for everyone. To make connection to that loving power, you have to be clear within yourself and not be confused by the many, many different thoughts and beliefs, attitudes, and judgments that people have. It is the knowingness that the one power and the one essence is love. Yes, love accepts you, loves you for you. Very tolerant, actually. It's very tolerant. But when we get emotionally tied up because things are not the way we want them to be, because you've got 2 emotional numbers here, 6 and 18. That the 18 in particular means that you get so caught up with how you want things and how they're not, but you're not going to the source because you've got too many voices. I got lots of voices in here. And what the need is to recognize, to begin in newness, which is number 19, sun. To begin in the newness, you have to let go of the old. You have to let go of the trauma, the upsetness, the questioning as to why. There seems to be a lot of whys running in my head, like why this, why that, why the other, why is it this way, why isn't it not that way? All whys need to be put over in a little container somewhere and left there. There is no whys, it just is. When you accept the just isness, I call it isness, then you can do something about it. But when you want it to be locked away or changed and whatever, and you're emotionally about it because you've got this thing, there's no resolution in it. It's like going back before your eyes were affected. The only other way I see that is different is if you were born with an eye problem. And I don't sense that here because of your number 6 and stuff. Then it's a past life issue, and then you've got to do some regression work to find what that is. But I give thanks. So let's see. I give thanks in the knowingness that our 07 is aware of the force of love and the power of the force of love, which is accepting what is. Often it's through the acceptance of what is we can heal it. And sometimes we have to accept those traumas, those fears, those anxieties we have as a small child. And as the adult, we can be and encourage the little one to let go and feel the loving force of the God's love, of whoever you want to call it love. There is one power and there is one essence, and everyone is a part of that if they accept it, if they feel it in them and the knowingness of them and all the directions of where they are. I give thanks and knowing There is one power, there is one essence, there is one love, and we're all connected to it, and we can use it for ourselves. And so I released this thought for '07 by saying, and so it is. Amen. Amen. That means so it is. Okay, and then Karen's written in here again for a friend. I have a treatment for my friend Mark, who has just started radiation treatment today for cancer on his vocal cords. It's okay, you don't need numbers. I can figure that out anyway. Cancer vocal. Okay. I have to put my stuff aside for that. The first radiation treatment I was extremely traumatized, number one. And number two, we eventually got them done, but yeah. So let me just put that aside for Mark. I'm going to give Mark 22, 18, some fear there, and 3. Okay. What we see here is the need of moving forward and letting the fear and the worry, which is a natural thing, but unfortunately not helpful in a health situation. But to recognize whatever spirituality has, whatever his belief system is, to hug that to himself, to know that the love vibration is there, whatever name one uses for it, is to utilize it, because his faith, his awareness is going to be incredibly important to aid through the emotionality of everything that goes on when you have a prognosis, and then you I think that's the word, you've been told what's going on, and then you've got to do this treatment, which is invasive. But it's recognizing, and it's something I said early, and I don't know if I was on this one or I was on the one where it had to be scrapped, was that you've just got to know that lovingness is there for you so that you can utilize it and let go. So, Mark, I know there is one power and there is one essence. And even when we feel afraid and unsure, it's a matter of just being quiet within ourselves and allowing ourselves to believe. Believe in healing, believe in growth, and believe in progress. And also a part of this, I feel, is trusting the treatments that are being given, to put your trust there. Because there is always a little fear and anxiety when something new comes along. But now it is a sense of relying on your own lovingness of life, your own desire for your goals and what you want to create and what you wanted to do, and where and what you're happening and where you're going. I give thanks in knowing that you are at one with all there is. I give thanks in knowing that just by relaxing and believing and having faith that you will come through this fine, will aid in that journey that you're going to go on. I give thanks and my love by saying, and so it is. Okay, I said, well, what are you going to say now? There was a Lynette, yes, I know. And the first live who needed a treatment for loneliness. Oh, okay, thank you. I'm glad you read that. She said she wanted to be on, and she hasn't, the crazy thing I went through. Hang on, let me see what she put. 5. Thank you. Yeah, I talked to her earlier today, and she said she was going to come on. Okay, hang on, let me get just a minute. Somebody's writing something else. So this is for Lynette. and releasing loneliness. She's doing actually very well. Okay. The numbers of 5, 6, and 8 is 5 is knowing more knowledge and more awareness, and I know that she's working on that. 6 is not always listening to everybody else's voice, which unfortunately I'm one of them, and knowing that herself, listening to her, feeling what's right for herself as well. And 8 is having the strength to be able to balance everything else. So let me just do a treatment here. I know there is one power and there's one essence, and it is through the connection to that love energy and that power, that essence that sustains us through our loneliness, through our uncertainties, through our fears. Therefore, I know that by recognizing the majestic love force that is there inside, that the loneliness is the letting go with love and ease, and in bringing forth a sense of purpose and awareness, so that one can look ahead into life with a smile and with a knowingness that there is a love force that loves you, cares about you, and miracles can be created, in a sense, absolute miracles. And so it is. So it is. Okay, for sure. Sounds just, I believe in God. Good for you. Okay, thanks, Karen. Yes, I can imagine that. I know. Oh, well, I had a trauma. First time they tried to put me, anyway, that's another story for another day. Well, it looks like we're just about the usual time we're ending. And thank you for finding me. I messed up. I touched, this is the third time this has happened. Sitting here waiting, and then I touch my little mouse. Touching my mouse messes everything up. And then I can't get back on. So I have to go back out and cancel, and I have to do all sorts of other things. And I'm glad you found me. I'm glad we're here. I'm working on what topic I'm going to do on Wednesday. And those of you that tuned in on Sunday, we didn't have a Sunday thought. We had a little thing called, Are You Aware? So that's going to change on Sundays a little bit. You have a good night. Think about that there is one power, one essence that loves you. Are you utilizing it to its capacity of being? You take care. Lots of love. Bye now.